Hey Sal, the microwave works. I put a glass of water in there, put it 10 minutes, it's hot, man, it works. I'll put it back outside next to the fridge. Yeah, bye.
Wow. Hey, I'm going to the store if you need anything, or...
Thanks, but no.
Hey, did he look at this, you know? Did he take a look at it?
Well, I heard somebody goofing around in there. I don't know if he fixed it or not.
So you said he's gonna, he thought about getting breakers.